A graduate student at UNC was arrested in association to a school shooting. Plus, a country fair was evacuated due to a false bomb threat.
Back here on campus, students set up on Chamberlain Field to showcase their organizations, and UTC hosted our first Spanish campus tour. I'm Katie Stevens.
And I'm Lillian Simcox.
Your news starts now. The University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill is mourning the loss of Professor Zha Ji Yan, who was fatally shot Monday in a science building at the center of campus. 34-year-old graduate student Tai Li Chi was charged with first-degree murder and a weapons count without bond. Yan was Chi's advisor and part of his research group. Students were on lockdown for the 3 hours following the shooting. A candlelit vigil was held Wednesday and classes resumed Thursday.
A Chattanooga man is sentenced to 54 years in prison last Thursday after pleading guilty for defrauding the church. 50-year-old Davis Apps was found stealing more than $1.3 million over the course of his time serving as business manager for Broad Street United Methodist Church in Cleveland, Tennessee. Apps was also sentenced to 3 years of supervised release, ordered to pay over $1 million in restitution, and forfeited $4,200 in cash seized by the United States.
This past Monday, the Fentress County Fair was evacuated due to a false bomb threat. An officer was told of a bomb while helping secure a possible mass murder subject. The officers and deputies at the fair contacted the ATF before the fair was evacuated. No bomb was found, and the officer sent subject Ricky Long to the Fentress County Sheriff to be tried. This is still an ongoing case.
Are you looking for a place to worship this weekend? At this Gospel Fest, you're sure to be refreshed. Take a look at Chattanooga's biggest worship celebration.
I'm Ryan Brooks, and we're right here at the First Horizon Pavilion here in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And yes, that's right. Right here behind me is going to be the Kierra Sheard, Grammy Award winning Kierra Sheard. And she would say it best, her uncle, John P. Key, is going to be right here performing Saturday night. The Infinite Soul Gospel event is going to take place here September 2nd, this Saturday.
Get your tickets on Eventbrite for early bird tickets while they last for only $40. At the door, tickets will be $55 for adults and $20 for kids 13 years of age to 18 years of age, and $10 kids 12 years of age and under. Of course, Chattanooga's own Corey Prather High Praize will be setting the stage Saturday with a performance you won't forget.
Come on out and have a high time in the presence of our God.
Absences are stacking up for students across the U.S., according to recent findings from AP News. Studies conducted by the Stanford education professor Thomas D. show that 6.5 million students have become chronically absent, as the numbers have doubled since the 2021-2022 school year. According to the report, everything from finances, unstable housing, and mental health issues have kept students from regular attendance. As of this year, most states have not released their data from the 2022-2023 year. But based on what has been shared, this trend has only continued, chronic absence remaining to be double its pre-pandemic rate.
This past Tuesday, Deborah Morgan, a regional overdose prevention specialist with Hamilton County Coalition, came to speak with UTC students about substance abuse and how to help those struggling by distributing Narcan.
I feel like spreading awareness is a huge impact on how we can help people. Because like so many of us, we don't understand what substance use is, what it consists of, and what it actually does to the brain. So I feel like it's important that we understand the science behind it, how it's affecting someone, and why someone may do it, in order for us to help them in the way that they really need to be helped.
Many UTC students were seen listening to Morgan as she began to tell her story. A couple of students were even willing to share their thoughts on such an important topic.
I was raised in Kingsport, Tennessee, which is very much so like deep Appalachia, and there were a multitude of people around me who were addicted to opioids. A girl who I was raised with, she just recently got out of rehab, and she's my age, and she, from like 16 to probably recently, was addicted to opioids, and like it's always been a huge problem. And I was a pharmacy tech for a year and a half, so I constantly saw people coming in for not just narcotics, but like things like Suboxone and other forms of opioid-like drugs, and so it's always been very prevalent in my life, and I feel like it's something like this kind of education is very useful for everyone because it's around everyone all the time. You could be walking in the street and someone could be dying on the ground, so it's very prevalent, especially in Appalachia.
If you would like to learn any more information on substance abuse, overdose, preventatives, and how to safely become skilled with using Narcan, please visit www.hccoalition.org/hccoalition-team.
UTC hosted their first ever Spanish tour, welcoming Hispanic families and students to the event. UTC associate Dr. Nikki Tejero partnered up with many organizations, including La Paz Chattanooga, Center for Global Education, and the Department of Modern and Classical Languages.
This is just one more way that UTC is looking to make our campus, our institution, our services, and our offices more accessible and welcoming to a variety of members of our community.
Well, Starbucks started their fall menu this month, so it means it should be feeling cooler outside, right?
Well, let's check in with Cassandra to learn what this weekend and the beginning of next week will feel like. Cassandra?
While Hurricane Idalia may have touched Florida and Georgia early Wednesday as a Category 4, Chattanooga remains humid and mostly sunny throughout the week. The heat seems to be cooling down as fall fast approaches. Today, the highs will reach 86 degrees with the low at 66. This weekend, temperatures will remain in the high 80s with low at 66 degrees. Monday, the sun will continue to peer through the cloudy skies with temperatures in low 90s and high 60s and will continue until the end of the week. Lillian and Katie, back to you.
Many organizations across campus and beyond gathered on Chamberlain Field to show off their skills ranging from chess, frisbee, or fencing in order to attract future members. Greek Life Student Government and media organizations were also present. Clubs such as the Public Relations Student Society of America were present and enabled students to join.
We provide professional learning opportunities and guest speakers and off-site field trips, and we help students find internships and after graduation job opportunities.
Most recently, Delta Phi Lambda, who established last fall as UTC's first Asian interest sorority, hope to gain more traction on campus. President Michaela Walls and Vice President of Records, Eileen Lee, spoke on their sorority's values.
I hope to do what our missions are, like be involved in the community, spread more Asian awareness, and spread representation. I know for me, it was a culture shock coming to PWI, and I know I always hated being like the diversity picture in any organization or to fill a quota. So we just want to be more inclusive and just never make anyone feel like they're meeting just a quota.
We want to welcome everyone and cultivate a safe and welcoming environment for marginalized communities. Yeah.
Our Frankie Bolignani is here to tell us where you can catch Mocs football this weekend.
And an update on some UTC alum, right?
That's exactly right, Lillian. I'll start off this segment with somewhat saddening news that UTC alum Curtis McClendon has been cut by the Las Vegas Raiders. McClendon was an undrafted free agent from UTC, signed to the Raiders back in May, but could not beat out fellow undrafted free agent Dalton Wagner for a roster spot. However, due to his dominance here at UTC, he was signed to the Raiders practice squad. In happier UTC alum news, another undrafted free agent, defensive lineman Devoncha Maxwell, has made the final roster for the Cincinnati Bengals. We will keep you updated on his situation as the season progresses. Moving on from alumni, your Mocs football team will travel to South Alabama tomorrow, September 2nd, to open their season. We hope to see a repeat of last season's game where North Alabama was held to less than 100 yards and 0 points. The game can be seen on ESPN Plus at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. A big reason we shut out North Alabama last season is thanks to our fifth-year senior running back, Alem Ford. Ford's size may be minimal at 5'9", but his impact speaks for itself with career totals of 666 carries, 3,443 yards, and 32 touchdowns. Coach Rusty Wright expects even more versatility and explosiveness from Ford as he continues to perfect his craft. Nebraska women's volleyball broke the record for women's sports attendance on Wednesday, August 30th. Over 92,000 fans gathered to watch five-time national champion Nebraska beat Omaha 3-0. The previous record was held by FC Barcelona and shattered with about 500 more fans in attendance at Nebraska. Olympic gymnast Simone Biles also broke a record, winning her 8th all-around title at the U.S. Gymnastic Championships. Alongside Biles, male gymnast Asher Hong broke a record with a flawless score of 170.93. Biles and Hong were both the oldest and youngest champions in their respective categories. That is all for sports. Lillian and Katie, back to you.
Thanks, Frankie. A program through UTC helps high school students in our community get ready for college with the help of current university students. Kierra is currently accepting applications for UTC students, and you can find them through UTC's website or at their office on the 4th floor of the Macaulay building.
Well, that does it for this edition of Mocs News. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to give us a like and a follow on Instagram at Mocs News UTC.
We're also on Facebook and X. We'll be here for you next Friday, but first, have another look at what's happening in the Scenic City this weekend.
Hey, I'm Ryan Brooks, and yeah, I know you're ready for Saturday night. You don't want to know my name. You want to know who's going to be on the lineup for Saturday night. Well, I'm right outside the First Horizon Pavilion here in Chattanooga, Tennessee, where the Infinite Soul Gospel event is going to take place here September 2nd, this Saturday. So we want you to go ahead, get those early bird tickets, and it's going to be your girl, Kierra Sheard, Grammy Award-winning Kierra Sheard, and she would say it best, her uncle, John P. Key, right here Saturday night. So we want you to go ahead, UTC faculty, staff, students, and all of the UTC community, come on out and have a high time in the presence of our God.